All right, what up, guys? We are live. We got the Monday pickup expert panel. I think Scotty's going to join us in a little bit. We were just discussing the Charlie Kirk thing and how I guess we could just share this with the audience. How initially there was like speculation it was like some tranny or something like that due to misreporting by the Daily Beast, and then it came out, and so everyone on the right was like, the liberals are one violence, civil war. We gotta take the liberals down. We gotta ban all the immigrants. And then when it came out, it was like a far right winger. It's like, oh, it's time for healing and prayers, guys. Everyone, sympathy with the families. These things happen. It's okay. It's not okay, but these things happen. So yeah, it's been funny to watch that.
Yeah, I still can't believe I saw a post like majority of political violence comes from the right. It looks like
majority by far.
Yeah, and they were so horny. They were so horny when the shooter came out to be like trans black guy. Like they were so horny for it. And then when it was like a white dude, they were like, I think his partner was trans. So yeah, it's kind of hilarious actually.
They did an interview with the grandma, and it seemed like the grandma was like more like triggered by the idea of people thinking that their family's left-wing than like the actual shooting. Like, whoa, hang on a second. We're all Trump supporters here. Listen, school shooting is one thing, but voting Democrat, I mean, we're not that kind of family here.
Exactly. That's more the shame of the family than having a psychopath killer for sure.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. That same day, gets underreported, 2 kids died in like the same state at a school, but like there's like
a school shooting.
Yeah, there's a school shooting. Yeah. But like no attention gets drawn to that. It is pretty crazy though, like that he's like that Charlie Kirk is being flown on Air Force 2 and shit. Like he's not a national hero. He was like a right-wing commentator.
Yeah, but like Trump is just, if you're nice to him and you're his friend, he's got you back. Like the January 6th shit, like people convicted of like conspiracy. There's like Proud Boy groups, right? And it's like, oh yeah, let's just pardon them. Yeah, no problems. Like they kind of have my back. All good. Yeah, it's a bit fucked up.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. All right, so we got an interesting question to kick things off on. Don't take this the wrong way, but with hundreds of women you've been with, how can you know most truly enjoyed it? Well, when they have an orgasm, that's usually a good sign they enjoyed. It's not like I made every girl come, but I think I would say probably me.
Yeah, I feel like a good sign is when they cry, leave, and never message you again. I think it's a good sign these girls really were into it. Usually you get feedback, right? I don't know if you do this, Alex. I just ask them. I like after we have sex, I'm just like I give them some feedback. I'm like, yo, actually, it'd be better if you did this, this, and this. And then I ask them, like, do you have any feedback for me? And if they just say, like, no, that was the best sex I've ever had in my entire life, yeah, it's a pretty good sign it was good. If they want to see you again, it's a pretty good sign it was good. I think this guy is pointing at maybe, like, slut shaming or them feeling, like, bad afterwards. Yeah, as long as you're not, like, kicking them out and being a dick about it, yeah, it's fine.
What percentage of girls would you say that you had sex with that you're confident they came? Like, I'd say for me, it's probably about 3/4 where I can say, like, I'm very certain they came.
Depends what period of time we're speaking about. If it's like when I first got a game, I would say confidently close to 0%. But if you look at like my
I'm talking about like last like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, it's up there close to 100%, I would say.
Oh, wow.
Because even if girls really struggle to come, like I will work on it with them. And at the end of the day, like you can use a vibrator. It's kind of cheating in a way, but if you use a vibrator, you get the girl to hold it on there. She's almost doing all the work. Basically, she's making herself come with you in her presence and kind of like giving her some sexual like context to it and like giving her a little bit of fantasy around it. But it's rare for me because like it's something I really focus on. And if girls really, really do struggle, it's almost like, okay, it's girls that have never really come before ever, even solo. And then we like work on it, in between when they see me. So yeah, for the most part, one night stands, almost all girls are coming with me, but yeah, I put a big emphasis on it. Like that's something I, care about quite a bit.
One issue I used to run into when I was single is I would like, because a lot of girls don't know about the Hitachi magic wand, right? And so I would like, I would try it while, usually I use it while I'm fucking them, and they would love it, and they would all come, right? And so they would be like, wow, this thing is amazing. And like, I'd be like, yeah, you can take it. And I gave so many away, but then after I give it away, I like, fuck, now I have to buy another one. So I've purchased, like, if I go on my Amazon history, I purchased like at least 10, I think about 10 Hitachi magic wands, right? Like over the years, just because I kept fucking giving them away to like girls that I was like, oh, this girl fucked me, whatever. Just like in the heat of the moment, I'm feeling generous. I'm like, yeah, you can take it. And I'm like, oh,
so it's like, you're like the Oprah of pickup, bro. You have sex with girls, like, you get a
$50
again. That's awesome.
Down the drain.
Yeah, I've done that with butt plugs before. Like, so girls that are like, oh, I want to try anal, but I've never done it before. I usually just give them like a few butt plugs, like small to large, and just get them to train. And then obviously I don't ask for them back. I'm like, yo, where's those butt plugs you've been using? So yeah, similar thing. I think I've gone through a few sets of those.
I'm gonna need that back, please.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Can you clean that up and bring it back to me? Yeah, 100%.
I've never been a fan of anal, actually. I've done anal, literally. I've had anal with a girl once in my life. It was when I was like 21, and I didn't enjoy it, and I never tried it again afterwards.
Wow. I'm curious, like, is it the sensation itself, or is it just the feeling of like, I'm fucking this girl's butt? Like, what about it?
Two things. Like, I remember that with my girlfriend at the time, when I tried it, it like was really tight to get in there. And when I got a little bit in, she became massively in pain, and she like ran to the bathroom, and like she was like in pain. And but the bigger issue is, more importantly, is that I'm just so paranoid about girls shitting on my dick.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I think like
if that happens, I can never look at that girl again.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not the same. Like I kind of feel you. I'm not one of those guys that is like big into anal where it's a huge like fetish, but like if girls really like it and get into it, then I definitely do. But yeah, it's a lot more work, right? Like you need to really warm the girl up to it. And as long as the girl is prepared, you don't really have the shit on your dick issue, honestly. Like I filmed with a girl once, for like the product that I was going to release. And she was so prepared. She like bleached her asshole. She used like the what are they called? Like the enemas. Like she cleaned out. Like she didn't eat for like 24 hours. Like she was
that's commitment.
Prepared. Like she was all over it. But yeah,
and then she still shit on that dick.
Yeah, then she shit all over my dick. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, you can, if you're worried about that, you can definitely like prepare. And I think like a lot of girls that are into anal would often like know or prepare, because I've never had that. I've never had a problem where I've got like shit on my dick or something. But also, yeah, I'm not a huge anal guy. But if the girl's into it,
I've had like a few girlfriends or ex-girlfriends now tell me that, like, I guess it's really common in Miami or LA where I used to live, because they're like, wow, one of the things I like about you is you don't want to fuck me in the ass. Like, I feel like a lot of times some girls are legitimately into it, but I feel like a lot of the times girls are like partially doing it for the guy, right? But
yeah, I think that's a big thing. Like there's a lot of guys, and actually, do you know what's so funny? I think a lot of girls have your experience where it's painful and they just don't ever want to do it again. Yeah. But like, funnily enough, like I don't realize this until I started doing it more, but you can do anal with like absolutely zero pain. It just requires like a lot of preparation. Like that girl I filmed with hadn't had anal in years, and I'm not a small guy, and as long as you like warm up for it, so like I'm like massaging her ass, I'm fuck her first, make her come clitorally. We use like small butt plug, bigger, like she becomes more relaxed. You take it really slow. Like there's ways you can do this where it's not painful at all and girls can really enjoy it. But yeah, it's a lot of work.
Dude, since you brought it up, I remember one of the stories David told me like years ago is that when you guys used to have gangbangs, you would have to go last because if you went first, then no one could feel anything. I found that shit so funny. Like, all right, Marcus, I know you pulled this girl, but you're gonna have to get that.
I gotta go last, bro. Yeah, I was labeled the destroyer. Okay, but yeah, it's funny. Like gangbangs, we all had a role. Like one guy was a pussy eater. Okay, and I was the guy that had to go last. So. It's just the way of the world, bro. It's how the rules work.
All right. Honest question. Don't you pick up artists get tired chasing hoes? Yeah. Well, me and Marcus are both in relationships. with
Yep.
girls, not with each other. But yeah, so
Yeah. It's a great relationship with Alex and I.
yeah.
With them
So
chasing them.
I guess we both, in some way, got tired of chasing hoes. I mean, I wouldn't really describe it as that, but yeah, I mean, like if I really wanted to go out and fuck a bunch of random girls, I wouldn't be in a relationship. I think probably the same thing applies to Marcus. But I don't know if I classify it as getting tired of chasing hoes. It's more of like the dopamine high starts to wear off and you're in the mood for something different. You're in the mood for something more stable. You want to explore the other, like, you know, obviously when you're in a relationship, the novelty part of it wears off, but you know, that on the flip side, you get to develop like true intimacy, like real love, like strong feelings that you don't develop when you're just chasing hoes. So I think it's just like you get to a point where you're like, okay, I have like no regrets about fucking all the girls I fucked. I have zero regrets about that. But like I just at a point in my life, well, you know, I reached that point probably like 4 years ago where I just, you know, it just wasn't as exciting for me anymore. And I want to, you know, I met a girl that I really like and I want to explore that basically.
Yeah. I mean, I can agree with that. I think sometimes, like he said, chasing hoes, like he didn't say, did you get sick of like fucking a bunch of hot girls? So I think like for a lot of guys, you are in that stage where it is a lot of effort for like a result. And I think it's important to enjoy the game journey where it's not just the sole goal of like fucking a girl. Like honestly, the thing I like most about like my whole fucking game journey was the skill set, like developing that, was learning about myself and was just hanging out with my boys all the time. Like there's something awesome about going out with some friends and wings and picking up or pulling girls that just isn't as enjoyable if you go out and do that by yourself, for example. So yeah, there's like certain things with everything that you're going to get sick of if you do it over and over again. It was a lot of fun with it. It was amazing. I'm just having like way more fun and having like a more enjoyable experience in a relationship right now. So yeah, if you feel like you're getting sick of it, maybe look at some ways to make it more enjoyable.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy the camaraderie, but my favorite part was like the dopamine highs because it's like, I don't know, it's probably like the way people, probably to some extent what people feel like when they play sports. I used to feel that way when I used to snowboard and like do difficult tricks, like when I would land like a really big jump, right? It's like, you know, like I'm like, look, if you're like good at game and you're chasing like average girls, you're not going to get that dopamine high. But when you're like pushing past your comfort zone just a little bit, and you're like getting a girl that's, you know, a little bit more difficult or a little bit hotter than you're used to, right? You get this like big like dopamine rush. Because first of all, I think one of the things is when you're when you're trying to run game, you have to be so in the moment. Like your mind can't be 3 places at once. And unless you're like really into meditating, you can't really force your mind to just be on one thing. It has to be an external circumstances that forces you to be in the moment. And so, you know, game is like that for a lot of people. So like if you're someone who has a lot of like your mind just, you know, is always racing, you have a lot of background thoughts, like everything starts to quiet down when you get in the zone when it comes to pickup. So that's the first thing. And then like, you know, just doing things that may seem impossible to other people or that you would have thought were impossible 5 years ago just gives you this rush. But for me, the rush sort of started to, it didn't like completely disappear, but it started to die down after like God knows how many girls. Was it like that for you, that the rush kind of slowed down?
Yeah, it's funny you talk about that like validation hit, because that definitely
validation.
Well, sorry, I refer to it for myself as like a validation hit that I used to get. And yeah, that used to be fairly big. And I think like something started happening where as I worked on myself more and more, I didn't get a big of like a validation hit from like having success with women, and then also like just doing it over and over again. But that hit of like socializing or like using that skill or like managing a group and like that interplay was also always like super exciting for me. But I feel like I still get that now in other ways. Like coaching, I get that a lot. I do like improv now, and I get a lot of that like social interplay now as well. But yeah, like I'm the same with you. Like over time, it just like dampens down a little bit.
Yeah, one thing I've also noticed, this is like a intermediate to even mildly advanced problem. Even some advanced guys have this, is they're like too addicted to the validation part of game. I see this with like my roommates, right? Like my roommates all get laid like pretty well. But they're like always feel the need to like show off the girl, or not all of them, but like some of them. Or I have friends like this, like to them, like I feel like they enjoy the showing me the photo of the girl more than they enjoy actually having sex with the girl. So what I do is I give them zero validation. I'm like, yep, she's a fatty, and just constantly deny them validation. But yeah, have you seen that as well with like guys who are good again?
100%. Yeah, I mean, this happened to me, to be honest, years ago. Like I was the
Yeah, me
same.
too,
I was
years
like,
ago.
yeah. And so I learned to deal with that myself. And I think the big thing is here, like I'm very quick to tell students when they have a failure to, hey, don't worry about the results so much, right? Just look at the amount of effort you put in, what you learn from it, the lessons. But then I was catching myself, like as soon as my students get laid, I'm like, holy fuck, like validation, validation, validation. I'm like, that doesn't really sit with the model that I'm trying to teach them. So I think it's good to like celebrate a win and, you know, get like a little bit excited over that or happy over that or however you want to term it. But you can't be like strictly like hunting that down, looking for it and getting like over validated by like that experience. The same way, like when you have a loss, you should feel a little bit shitty. You should feel like, oh, fuck, I need to learn something, but you shouldn't feel like devastated and like fucking miserable for the next 3 days. So I think you just need to like balance out the external like feedback that you're getting enough that it's like important and drives you a little bit, but not so much that that's the only thing you rely on. So yeah, it's a trap that I think a lot of guys fall into, and they just need to be really careful of.
Yeah, well said, actually. Yeah, because some guys, they get a W and they still act like bummed out. It's like, yeah, but like, you know, I don't know. I don't think she's gonna text me back afterwards.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. She wasn't that hard, and yeah, like
I don't know, man. Like, yeah,
she
you're a
kinda
virgin,
pulled me
bro.
in.
This is the first girl you fuck. Yeah, but I was
Yeah.
hoping you'd be yourself and not a sick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
so,
yeah, internally like critiquing themselves. Yeah.
a little too much. Yeah. What's your best way to handle cold feet when trying to close, and how do you reinitiate again? All right, I think we're gonna need more context here. Like, what exactly happened when you try to close? Are we talking about over text, or are we talking about in person? How did this cold feet manifest? Like, yeah, we need more information so to answer this question.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a question, guys. A girl canceled our date last minute because she was too busy and had to go to the gym. Do you think I should just walk away or call her out? I found it disrespectful. I've got a question, guys. A girl canceled our date last minute because she was too busy and had to go to the gym.
She canceled her date because she was too busy and had to go to the gym. I mean, her priority right now, you're clearly nowhere near her priority, right? Like, gym, like if she said I had to cancel last minute, like my grandmother's in hospital or something, hey, I'm so sorry about that, can we do like next week? Completely okay. Like these situations, like no problem, chill, you just like plan next week. This is a huge feedback signal that this girl does not give a fuck about you. Right now, does that mean you should like call her out, or should you find this disrespectful? It really depends on what the messages were like beforehand. If you tried like prematurely closing, or you have absolutely no value of being chasing a bunch, honestly, that's kind of your fault, and you need to kind of revert those things and make sure you don't do them again. Otherwise, if this was like a fairly good interaction, you get a message like this, yeah, I would call her out here a little bit, but maybe not in the way that you're thinking. I'd do it more in my actions. So right now, if you're being a little bit needy or a little bit eager, I might just like this message. Or I might say like, I just flipped this. I'll be like, oh shit, was that tonight? I totally forgot I had other plans. I'm so sorry. But yeah, like chasing more here is just going to make you less of a priority. So I definitely wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I think, look, like, first of all, this is something I've noticed. Sometimes guys say the girl flaked, but they never really had like hard plans for the girl. So, okay, let's assume that you did have hard plans with a girl. It depends again on a lot of factors. Like, did she text you, for example, the night before, the early that morning, or was it last minute? What was the text like? Did she seem apologetic? Is this the first time she's done this, or has it been many times? Did she offer to reschedule, or did she just say, I can't make it? Like, there's all these factors that play a role. I would personally not walk away from, if a girl's attractive, from her just flaking once. You would probably, again, depends on what exactly she said, but you'd probably use a light takeaway or call out. But again, I would need to see the context in order to give you exactly like the exact line. Bro, you're retarded, Alex. His family is conservative, not him. I wonder why he gave money to Trump then. I wonder why he dressed up as Pepe the Frog, which is a far right-wing meme thing, when he was 18 years old. I'm sorry, I don't know how to break it to you, but the dude was not only right, he was far right. Like, there's no other reason why he would dress up as Pepe the Frog and have all these far right memes and also give money to Trump. What's a text usually send when trying to set up a date with no lead? It just depends again on the context. Like, if it depends how old. You can say something like, "Hey, stranger." Like, I don't know, but just again, it depends on context.
Yeah, and it matters like why it's an old lead, right? Like if this was the same girl that just like flicked on you and shit. Yeah, it's really gonna depend. You can do anything like that creates like some curiosity to try to get the messages going again. But if you were missing value, you need to build value. If she was in a relationship now, she's not, like, it just really depends. But if you're just asking how to reopen it, just use curiosity. Yeah, hey, stranger's fine. I'm curious about something, and he tells you like all these are fine.
Never call her out or lower react, just relaxing. Like, well, it depends on how you call her out. You can call her out in a like a non-butthurt way. I think what we're trying to say is don't be butthurt, which I would agree with.
Yeah.
Why do you think so many pickup and master guys went full-blown Trump guzzlers around 2018? It's a good question. I've talked about this in the past. So I think it primarily has to do with the fact that people in the pickup and master, they care about men's issues, and they erroneously think that Trump cares about men's issues too. That Trump is going to be more pro-men than, say, Kamala, right? Partially because he's a man himself and partially because he's unfiltered or whatever. This is a very silly, naive assumption. Trump doesn't give a fuck about gender issues. He doesn't give a shit about men's issues. There's not one single thing that legislation that Trump has passed that's like in any way help men's issues. Politicians in general, the left doesn't care about this either. They don't. This is a very relatively small part of the internet, and the people who are in this part of the internet typically don't vote. So politicians really don't care about like gender issues, especially not men's issues, because men typically vote less than women. And again, the kind of guys who are watching pickup and master videos are typically not voting, period. So yeah, I think that big part had to do with that. I think they saw that, you know, because Trump is definitely like unfiltered. So they kind of were like, yeah, that's like badass, which is fine. I think it would be cool if we had like a unfiltered politician on the left. But like that doesn't really matter. What matters is not rhetoric, but policy. And I think that really people who are in the master and pickup space, they just either are not smart enough, or more likely they're not just not knowledgeable enough. Like they don't, I'm talking about like content they just don't follow politics closely enough to understand the importance of policy. And for them, it's all vibes. It's like, yeah, obviously, like Trump is more charismatic than Kamala or Biden, right? There's no denying that. He's funnier than Biden or Kamala. And so they're voting based on vibes versus I vote based on policy. I look at what are the policies of the two people and which policy is going to be more likely to be beneficial for me and the country. And when you look at it like that, unless you're like a multimillionaire, then the choice is going to be Democrat. But again, yeah, so.
I think also people just think the left is the same as the Democratic Party is what I'm noticing a lot with like people online. Like if I speak to any of my friends that aren't really in politics, but are like, yeah, Trump's epic. If you ask them like, who do they think the left is? They think it's some like blued haired, like feminist woman or some shit. And so like, if you ask who to vote for and you're like, yo, you're going to vote for these like transgender, like feminist women that think like men should be eliminated from the world or some shit versus like Trump that's epic. It's like, okay, it's a very easy choice. I'm just like going Trump here because I'm going to move away from this like gay shit where like what we can't use like certain language and like we can't go speak to women on the street because like you should be arrested. That's like basically grape. Like it just goes way too far on like these very like leftist small circles on the internet. And everyone just thinks
no
that's
real
Democratic
power
Party,
in real life. Who have no actual like standing or power in terms of the American political system, right? They're just like,
yeah, I mean, it's some fucking hippies at university or something, or college. Like, it's got nothing to do with the party whatsoever. But again, like if you're a dude and you're trying to be like masculine and you're trying to like, you know, you're growing up in this world and you're like, look, I want to be a man. And it's like, hey, which party do you follow? Is it like these pussies or is it like this strong dude that like speaks like and is, you know, charismatic and hilarious? Like, hey, I'm going to support the, you know, cool, funny dude as opposed to like these fucking pussies, right? Yeah, 100%.
Also, if you know like masculinity and you know game, if you look at someone like Trump, while he is funny and charismatic, he's not masculine in any way that I would define the word masculine. He's very feminine, actually, in a lot of ways. He gets ultra reactive to everything. Like he just flips out over nothing. He literally cannot handle any kind of criticism or feedback. He gets emotional a lot. Like there's just a lot of ways in which he's not masculine. I would consider masculine Like I would consider masculine is when like you're confident in who you are and you're like above like petty shit. You're like, yeah, this is who I am. My goal is to do this and this, and I'm going to work towards that goal. I'm going to accomplish that goal. I don't really give a shit if this person says this or that person says that. There's more to it than that. But so yeah, I think that's like part. That's like also a part of it. It's like also people who don't really understand what real masculinity is. Like anyone, like it's almost like looking at Myron and thinking that's what masculinity is. Yeah, which is like so not the case. Myron is also very feminine, right? So, but it's people like that who don't know what masculinity is, who think that another person who's not masculine is actually masculine.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a 16-year-old boy, like these are the people you think are masculine. But like Trump is incredibly insecure, incredibly narcissistic. Like we're just talking about the validation from people around you. That is the only thing he seems to ever fucking care about. Like he would be the easiest person to amog. This is why, like, I don't understand. Like I look at these debates that he's had, and I'm like, all you had to do was troll him a little bit, and he'd come off as so fucking insecure. Like if you just went up there and was like, yo, Trump, you got some small hands over there, bro. Like, all you need to do is someone to like go troll him, and I guarantee, like, this whole persona of being like the man and in control. When he's on stage crying like a little pussy because his hands are too small, I think it's just going to really uncover the facade of him being a strong masculine leader that does all these deals or some bullshit, right? Like, yeah.
The problem is Trump's never debated anyone who's good. Like, if Trump debated Obama, and like, don't get me wrong, Obama has had many issues, but if Trump debated Obama would destroy him, like not even close. But Biden is not a good debater, especially now when he's losing 90% of his brain. Kamala is not a good debater. So he's just never debated like someone that's
and like Kamala gives like Karen vibes is what I feel like when you talk about like vibes, like because that's all these debates are. They're just vibes, right? So yeah, you needed someone like Obama that would be charismatic and would probably like troll Trump a little bit. Like if you just had someone like that, like even you saw, is it what's his name, Newsom, the California dude that was like posting
Gavin
Newsom posting out all the tweets Trump style and shit. Like that seemed to get under, it was a lot of the riots seemed to get under their fucking nerve quite a bit. I'm like, you need someone like that just fucking trolling, and I guarantee like you've got it now, like no issues. But
also, one last thing I'll add on this. The one thing that definitely did not help the Democrats was the cancel culture that was going around about 2016, 2017. But what a lot of people on the right don't realize is that now I would say that it's either equal on both sides or the right is even worse. And if you want proof of that, take a look at all the people on X who are basically saying that every single person who spoke negatively to Charlie Kirk should be fired and canceled. They literally have like a dossier of like 10,000 people. So like they're going on full on that people who basically don't like Charlie Kirk should be canceled, fired from their job. So yeah, I
mean, it's absolutely retarded on both sides. Like, yeah, as you said on the right now, it's literally, no one cares. It seems like no one actually gives a fuck about free speech whatsoever. It just seems like I only care that my message is allowed to get out there, and I don't want anyone else's message to get out there. Like it just seems super hypocritical.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, what's the best supplement if you recommend to stay hard and go rounds? I don't know.
Viagra. I have a document actually. I did like a literature review on all the different supplements for basically getting hard or having like more of a libido. I did it a couple of years ago, but maybe I can like post that up somewhere. Essentially, Maca, like MACA, I think it's spelt, has relatively good evidence behind it. I use a mixed supplement right now called like men's something rather. Again, I can post that up somewhere, and it's got a bunch of different like supplements in there. I find that helps quite a lot. But if I find that document, I can post it up somewhere and you guys can check it out.
Look who decided to grace us with his presence.
Hey, what's up, G?
Mr. Adam 22 himself.
It's good to have you.
Fresh from watching his wife get fucked by another black man.
Welcome.
What's up? What's going on, guys? You doing okay?
Yeah,
doing well, man. Doing well. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I kind of got a bad cough. I let a leaf just sit in my mouth for absent-mindedly. Don't ever do that, Ben. It burns your throat, burns your everything. Fucked up.
You left a what in your mouth? Sorry.
I was absent-minded and I left an leaf in my mouth and I walked like I
Oh,
left
I
it
don't
in
know
a
what an
little.
Alleviate is.
It's
What's
like
an
an
Alleviate?
Advil.
It's like a
Ah, okay.
yeah, it's like a pain.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. What do we have as next? Alex, I remember hearing you say in previous streams that as a beginner, you approach hundreds of girls that got zero numbers. How's this possible? You're not a. So when I was at my worst was when I first got to college. I think I did get some phone numbers under like the guise of like being friends or like socially drinking, but it took me 9 months to lose my virginity from going out like 5 days a week. Like I partied a lot and went to a lot of parties and socialized with a lot of girls and just couldn't close any because I didn't actually make a move on any because I was way too scared. So yeah, like I don't know if it's so much about numbers, but the point is I was failing a lot, and that's because I'm average to slightly above average looking, but that doesn't matter when you have dog shit game and you don't make a move. There's guys who are much better looking than me that I've coached who also have reported like years of no success at all, right? Because they just don't have game. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was the same. I struggled for a bit. Scotty, I imagine you were the same. Were you like a killer when you first started going out?
I did get the knack of it pretty quickly. I'm not going to sit here and like make up some huge story, but like probably took me after my first boot camp about like a month of consistently going out before I got like my first cold approach Chile. It was actually in Union Square. It's one of those that I'll never forget. Yeah, so it took me about a month after my first boot camp of like consistent practicing, and then I kind of just got the hang of it, and yeah, it came pretty quickly. But I needed that boot camp, man. I don't think like when I hear these stories of guys not getting any like mass approaching in or just doing it themselves, like I couldn't imagine like without that boot camp getting me started, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I don't think. I really don't.
Nice.
Must have approached like 100 women over the course of that weekend, got like 7 numbers, a couple makeouts, and it was like an eye-opening experience. Before that, I had got like no cold approach in, so it was huge.
Yeah, nice one.
Why is it that people like Destiny have so many of these huge fallings out with almost every woman he deals with as compared to sexually active guys like yourselves? There's one reason. I say this with love. Destiny is attracted to crazy. And I think he'll even admit this. I think he's cognizant of this. He is attracted to the type of girls that all three of us on this panel maybe would have sex with once, but would definitely avoid having anything to do with. In fact, some of them we wouldn't even have sex with once. So he's attracted to crazy, and that's what causes all these like fallouts and shit.
And it seems like the flaw is like it's all online shit, right? Like it. I think that amplifies everything. I think if we even had some of these relationships like outside of the online space and pressures around that, as you said, like some girl might fucking hate you, but she makes like, and I've had this with students, like they make a couple of posts on Instagram or something, and then no one gives a fuck. You all move on. Whereas if it's people online, and especially when you have like a lot of haters, those couple of Instagram posts now are actually like massively amplified and become like a massive deal. So yeah, it's probably a mix of crazies, mix of online. Yeah. Avoid the crazies.
Avoid the crazies.
That's a good question. I mean,
after you have
yo,
sex
Marcus,
with them.
you're saying like the online, just the frame of it is just a negative like starting point in general.
He's meeting like e-girls. He's meeting girls who are like content creators themselves, which is just generally those girls are going to be like worse than like regular everyday girls.
And also, yeah, and also just like that environment. Like I couldn't imagine, like I've got a girlfriend now. I couldn't imagine if I was like massive online and then that girl was like, you know, had a presence online and we were dating. Like, I don't know how these streamers do it where they have like their girlfriends on stream all the time and like they're living their whole, like, that just seems like so much fucking pressure. There's so much hate coming at you. There's so many outside influence. Like that just sounds like you're adding way too much stress and pressure on a relationship that just isn't needed. Like, I think that in itself can cause like issues in any dynamic, really.
Sure. Good point.
Yeah. Marcus, what do you learn at Improv? Do you think joining it helps you get better at game?
Yes. Look, back in the day when, you know, we had panels like this or whatever, and people like, you know, things to get better at game, and people would be like, go to Improv. I'd be sitting here like, that's the stupidest fucking thing. Just go out, you fucking idiots, right? But if you're going to have a hobby, right, that you want to help you out in game as well, I think improv is actually really good. Now, I would never say do improv instead of game. Like if you have a night and you're like, how do I get good? Just go out and fucking game. But otherwise, like if you just wanted to like a side hobby and, you know, you want to meet some other people and like do your shit, then I think improv is amazing. It like gets you out of your shell a little bit. It gets you to practice being more emotive and less logical in your interactions. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it now. I definitely encourage it.
Cool.
Have you guys ever done it?
No.
I've tried stand-up once, but that's about it.
Stand-up would be fun too.
I honestly did like I actually went to like Alcoholics Anonymous for like a year straight, and I got a lot, like that was some of the toughest shit, like standing in front of a crowd of people and telling your story and stuff like that. I think it pushed my comfort zone quite a bit. So I don't know if that's kind of comparable, but it was definitely challenging, like public speaking, I guess.
I have a friend who went to Sexaholics Anonymous, but it wasn't because he was getting laid too much. It's because he was jerking off to too much porn. And he recently like sort of got kicked out, but he was telling me the story. It's like hilarious. So like they believe in like none. So you can't have sex, you can't jerk off, you can't watch porn or whatever.
Oh, wow.
And he like had a sponsor, whatever. It was like some like Jewish rabbi, whatever, old guy. And so basically, like if you're thinking about watching porn, you're supposed to call your sponsor. And my friend decided to jerk off to porn without calling the dude. And the Jewish guy like flipped out. He was like, "How dare you? You should have called me when you were thinking about watching that porno." And then he's like, "I'm not going to be your sponsor anymore."
This sounds like the weirdest shit, bro. I can imagine guys going to this to like try pick up. There's like, there's a bunch of horny girls that can't stop having sex in the one place.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go check this place out.
Dude, it was rampant in like AA too. There was a lot of people fucking around with each other for
I can
sure.
imagine that. Yeah. All right. Well, there you go, guys. Get an alcohol addiction. Go to AA. It's
Got a sex addiction.
yeah,
Why do
exactly.
you guys think that why do you think guys that are only above average with women as compared to advanced guys have such big egos when you try to give them advice when they hit a wall? Well, I mean, not everyone does. I know guys who are above average who don't have big egos. I don't know. I think, yeah, some people develop egos. It's not like that with just game. It's like that with like fitness and a lot of other things as well. But also it's the question, like, no one really likes unsolicited advice. So if they ask you for help, that's a different story. But if you're just trying to give them advice, even though they didn't ask, like no one really likes that much unsolicited advice. So I'd say probably those things.
Yeah, and I think around game and women, I think guys are gonna have the biggest ego. It's a little bit different. Maybe if you give fitness advice, although guys still have an ego around that, or you try to give like business advice, guys. But when it comes to women, I think that's when you really like try to identify as a guy that doesn't struggle with that department. So look, I think in our space, and obviously like students coming in, like we see that a lot less. Obviously, you know, people are looking for help, they ask for help. But I agree with Alex. Like, this is like a life lesson. Never give anyone advice unless they fucking ask for it. And even like sometimes when people ask me, I still double check, like, you sure? Like, how harsh you want me to be here? Even guys in my group, like, can you review my photos? I'm like, how harsh you want me to be? Because yeah, some people just aren't ready for it.
Dude, that's a great point, man. Like even some people who come to you, they like secretly don't want to even get better. They just like and then they blame that I've been scammed by coaches or whatever. And then you almost don't even feel bad when you're like, dude, I was honest with you and like you didn't want to hear it. So sometimes you gotta. That's a really good point. That's a great point, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Like it's and you're just and basically when he's saying ego, he's just talking about one part, I guess, like an arrogance that comes from dating coaches. Like an ego to me could be a whole bunch of shit. Like somebody who's just playing the victim role, like that's part of the ego too. So it's not just like arrogant dating coaches and shit.
Back to Charlie Kirk. The guy put "Hey, fastest catch" on the bullet. Stop talking politics. It's embarrassing. So let's just ignore the fact that this guy donated money to Trump. Let's just take that out of the equation. The underlying assumption here is that only the left use the word fascist, which is factually false. The right called Biden fascist all the time. In fact, Trump literally had a quote where he said that Biden is surrounded by fascists. Fascist, yeah. Biden is surrounded by fascists. So the biggest person on the right uses the word fascist describing the left, and so do a lot of other people on the on the right. I'm sorry, the biggest person on the right uses the word fascist describing someone on the left, and so do other people on the right. They use that word all the time. It's not just universal to the left. I like it when people think they can catch me in these like little like catch-22s on politics, except for the fact that I just know a lot more shit than they do.
Yeah, I haven't read today or yesterday. But yeah, I mean, if all that's true, I mean, it sounds pretty obvious where his political views were. But yeah, I just haven't read anything from today or yesterday.
Yeah, I follow politics pretty closely. What would you say are some of the biggest underdog stories from clients you've worked with, like guys who had a lot of stack against them but ended up crushing it with hot girls after your coaching? Well, my biggest like success story would probably be the guy with cerebral palsy. I did 2 videos on that.
But I'm not crushing your goals after your coaching. Oh yeah, I mean, dude, I've had so many of these where guys have come in, short, bold Indians, for those that watch my debate with T-Pack, and ended up crushing it. But even like the unexpected, like sometimes you'll have guys come in that are like incredibly good looking, and you're like, oh, you must have like a lot of success, you must be killing it. And they're super insecure, they're horrible around women, and like the only pulls they've had is where like women literally like force them and pull them. So it's probably on the outside, it doesn't seem like, oh, this is like a good looking dude. But to have that guy turn around and have more self-confidence within him, and to be able to actually use this skill set now, not just his looks to pull, to actually like get girls that he wants. So there's also like a lot of turnarounds that, you know, on the surface might not seem that impressive, but to me they are at least. Yeah,
I hate how people downplay that too. You know what I mean? It's kind of all relative to me. Like if this guy's really struggling and having a hard time with it, it's like I did a testimonial with a guy who actually was 6'5", same type of situation. And everybody's like, oh, I feel so bad. And life must be so hard for him. But like he wasn't getting shit and he was miserable. How frustrating would that be if everybody's telling you, oh, you should be destroying it, and he's really not destroying it? So yeah, I'm with you, man. There's been a lot of those stories too.
What's
yeah,
your
funnily enough,
story? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say that, like, funnily enough, it adds like a lot of pressure. Like I've had students that are good looking and they have so much AA because they basically have the expectation that they should be doing well, and they're like, dude, I fucking suck with women. So yeah, it can be tough at times.
Yeah.
What's your biggest underdog story, Scotty?
Oh, I mean, well, I have, dude, one guy was like, he was out in Koreatown. He flew me out, and I wish I could say his name. And basically he was like, I don't know, 5'5", 5'6" Asian guy with that, like, he only slept with like 1 or 2 escorts his whole life, and he ended up getting a threesome that night. I was stunned, dude. I was literally stunned. I was like, all right, man, yeah, that was fucking awesome, dude. It was one of the craziest shits I've ever seen.
He really pulled a threesome on his first night of boot camp?
Yeah. Yeah. I swear on everything I love, dude. It was crazy, man. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. The average amount of time you talk to a girl in a day game before the number close, any subtle cues you're looking for in her body language before you go for the close? I'd say for me, it's probably 3 to 5 minutes.
I mean, it's just going to depend on how much time she has, I guess. So yeah, like most girls probably have like 3 to 5 minutes in day game. But like if the girl has longer, then you're just like obviously instant dating or pulling. So this question is just going to be a function of where you're gaming. Like if you're gaming on a beach, the average set's probably going to be like an hour. But if you're gaming like in a busy like financial district where like girls are like heading back to work or some shit, yeah, it's going to be like 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Speaking of like the first cold approach pull I ever got, it was in Union Square. It happened to be like about an hour long of talking with this girl. It wasn't like my normal thing, but yeah, you guys are about right. Probably like 5 to 10 minutes max.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is Marcus's thought on traction being emotional, not logical, as a criticism of using DHVs?
What are my thoughts on this? I don't like using too much the verbiage of like emotional versus logical so much. I mean, I agree, right? You don't want to be boring, but you can be super emotive while logically making sense, right? So you could be talking about your job, and if you have an amazing job, or talking about like where you travel, and have these parts of your personality that are actually really attracting, or talk about like pre-selection, for example, but you're not going to do it in a boring way. Now, that doesn't mean that logical always has to be boring is what I'm trying to get at. So if I'm going to say this, I could be like, listen, I have the fucking greatest job in the world. I love it. Now that's still logical. It makes sense. But it's emotive and it's exciting. So try to use both as opposed to just like being emotional and not making any fucking sense ever.
Will you invite Evolution Daily and a PU expert panel? Yeah, I don't see why not. He's been on one of my podcasts ages ago. Yeah, we just lost touch.
Evolution Daily sounds super.
Aaron
familiar.
Alexander.
I don't remember.
He hasn't been. I don't think he's been too active. Any good tips, routines for warming up before going out for a day night game? Could use some steps for getting into a fun, positive state, getting my mind ready to think. Yeah, I think this is a question better for you guys actually.
Any good tips, routines for warming up before going out day night game? Could use some steps for getting into a fun, positive state. I mean, I actually still use that type of stuff to this day because I'm just not like a naturally like super social guy, so it does take me sometimes a little while to get like talkative with people. Yeah, I generally just either will give compliments, to people. I don't know. I'll walk up to a two set, say like, "You guys are the cutest couple I've seen all day." I'll do little things like that, and because that usually hits like 9 out of 10 times, where they're like, "Oh, thank you so much. That was so nice of you," and blah blah blah. So I don't know. I just say I just give compliments. I'm friendly with people. You know what I mean? That's really it.
Yeah, I find that I really like that warm up type of principle. But you can like take it even a step back depending like how nervous the guys are, right? Where you can just get them to have a meditation, just like relax themselves down, and then like a visualization where it's just like, okay, what do you want to do today? Like you just imagine yourself going out chatting to a girl. What happens if it goes well? What happens if it doesn't go well? Like how are you going to deal with that? And then as you said, Scotty, like just going out, taking the pressure off, just going to say hi to someone, just practicing one opener and bouncing, giving a compliment, whatever it is, and like just building that exposure up, over time, can be like a really nice way to go in there without thinking like, okay, I need to do all these things. I need to pull like, fuck, there's so much pressure. Oh my God, I got so much anxiety. It's just like, strip it down a little bit, make it easy for yourself, and take it step by step.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of dating coaches use the word like be detached to the outcome, and they don't really give you like practical steps to like actually feel that feeling. I think by doing that and just kind of integrating it a little bit and not being like, yo, I'm going out and charging and I need to get a phone number and just hunting down women. Sometimes it's almost like impossible to become detached when you have that mindset. So I think it's a really good way to start feeling detached from the outcome.
Yeah. The way I kind of see it is like doing the first cold approach is like going into a chilly ocean. Like if you kind of put one foot in and you like don't want to go in, but once you're in, you're like, yeah, whatever, it's not that bad. So just force yourself to do that first approach. You get it out of the way, and then it's all just uphill from there.
And if not, have some cover.
Yeah, that's true.
Alex, you owe me a couple shells, bro.
I do. Guys
sent me to Pompano Beach the other night at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, guys in Australia, is Hitachi Magic One sold out? What's alternative brands? Do you know, Marcus?
Yeah, the Doxy, DOXY.
Okay. I like that you bring on legit game guys, but can you bring on the OGs like Jenka again, Shawn Michaels, Gunwich? I only know 2 of these people. I've never heard of Shawn or Gunwich. I've had Zen Perry and then Jenka on. The problem is like some of those guys are like really difficult to schedule with. But yeah, I could try again. Like Jenka is like married with kids. Like he's in a whole different like place in his life. But yeah.
You're looking at an OG, man. I was like doing this shit since my first boot camp was 2008. I think I was coaching with Brad P back in like 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
I'm an OG. I'm kind of an OG. I'm 40 years old.
If you have to say that you're an OG, I don't know. But yeah, just young, just email me, playingwithfirechannel@gmail.com with a reminder of the people you'd like to see me invite, and I'll reach out. Marcus, can you tell us a story of how you lost your V card?
Yeah, I mean, that's not exciting. That was with my girlfriend back when I was a lot younger. Although, like, dude, oh my God, it's fucking cringe, man. Like, it was back when I thought that, like, sex was bad and women didn't like it. And so my girlfriend, now that I look back, was trying to fuck me for, like, 6 months at least. And she'd keep bringing it up, and I'd be like, no, listen, when you're ready, it's okay. Like, you don't need to rush into it. We can take our time. She's like, how about like this weekend? I don't know. Do you really think you're ready? She's like, fuck it, no. So we eventually had like the best 3 seconds of my life. And slowly after that, I realized women actually do enjoy sex. And yeah, I didn't need to wait so fucking long, but bit of a
How old were you?
I was probably like 17. It was around that age, yeah.
I was 18 3/4. Yeah, my story, well, no, actually my story's pretty different. It was a one-night stand on the beach in Mexico with a fat chick, and I lasted probably 15 seconds. It was definitely less than a minute that I lasted.
You lasted longer than me, yeah.
And then me being the dumb fuck I was at the time, even though like I did not wear a condom, but I pulled out. And I got super paranoid that I got her pregnant. So I spent the rest of the vacation just like researching. And back then, this was like 2008. So like phones are a lot slower. Like, you know, Wi-Fi networks are a lot less. And I'm on there on my phone, like my tiny like fucking flip phone, trying to figure it out. Like, oh shit, could I get a girl? Like hitting up my cousin, like, hey, what do you think about this? Yeah.
Dude, mine was my first girlfriend off of MySpace, and she was this hot 24-year-old bartender, this Puerto Rican chick, and yeah, she ended up being my girlfriend, and she took my virginity. I was like so embarrassed to
losing your
tell her
virginity to a hot chick. You want to lose your virginity to a fat girl, okay?
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Okay. If you ask a girl to come back to your place, she says no on the date, how would you move the conversation? Again, it really depends on how you asked her and how she said no. Is it a firm no, or is it a playful no, or is it a lighthearted no? What is the reason that she gives? Like, there's just so many factors that would need to be established before this question can be answered.
Yeah, I just add to this, like, generally speaking, you do want to find out why at some point, right? Like, I kind of get frustrated when students are like, oh, I tried to pull and blah, blah. And I'm like, what? She went home in the end. I'm like, did you find out like why she didn't want to come back to your place? And the answer is always like, no. Like at some point, right? Unless she's like, oh, I probably shouldn't. Like if she's like, no, I really can't. You know, just very casually, calm, don't be butthurt. Just be like, oh, cool, how come? Right? Because if she says now I got work in the morning or my period or something, you've got something to actually work with and you know what you need to fix here. So yeah, at some point I'd ask that question, why? Just make sure you're not like interrogating her as you do it.
Also, I don't often like actually ask the girl, hey, do you want to go back to my place? I just lead them to my place without really talking about it. And then they kind of realize that we're going back to my place when we get to my place usually. Not all the time, but some of the time. And I find that works better.
I'm actually in agreement with that. Like sometimes it doesn't even need to really be said, but like, or it's just not, you really want to just, I feel like downplaying it is like the best bet, you know? Like last night I was like, I'll come pick you up at my house. She's like, so are we going to your house? I'm like, yeah, take you to my house. And it was just like easy. I don't know. Sometimes it just happens easy.
Yeah, I think it depends how much sexual energy you have. Like you guys, obviously, like the girls know you're fucking, right? I think with some students, if it's a fairly like platonic date, like with them, I'd be very careful of just like walking them back to your place. Like other students be like, oh, we're going to go for a walk. And then they end up in front of like their house and the girl's like, hang on, what the fuck? And it feels like very, I guess like sneaky. But yeah, I mean, if you have like the sexual energy and the girl knows what's up, then yeah, often you can leave.
So I got Marcus, if he's at that point, then how, like he's doing something, how's he ever going to correct? You know what I mean? Like, I guess we were assuming that he has some sort of sexual energy during the date or whatever. If he wasn't able to establish
that, needs
that,
to be the correction. Yeah. And then like, yeah, and you can like see like, hey, after this drink, we'll head back to mine, right? It can still be downplayed. I guess like, and it sounds like when you guys leading, you know, the girls know you're heading back to your place. It's not like, hey, let's go for a walk somewhere, and then you end up there, right? Like it sounds like it's pretty clear it's back at your place.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Marcos, do you offer real life coaching in Sydney?
Yep, but not for guys named Jason. So sorry about that, bro.
How can people, like, if he wants to sign up, what does he need to do?
Just shoot me a message on Instagram, or if you, I think I know who this is. I think this is Jason in my group. But if it's not, then yeah, hit me up on Instagram. Otherwise, just message me in the group.
Okay. Assuming you're doing a public date, no alcohol, kava, what is the optimal first date you would suggest? I mean, that's like eliminating a huge part of it. That's like saying, like, assuming you're going to go to the gym, but you're not going to lift any weights or use any machines. What's the optimal workout type of thing? But I typically in those situations, I just go for a walk. I usually bring some kava with me in a bottle, and I just sip on it. And then if a girl's like, "Ooh, what's that?" I'm like, "You want to try it? It's kava." Most of the time they say no. But yeah, I usually do walks. If the girl's not down to if the girl's like is an ex-alcoholic or something like that, and there's no kava bars around, probably do a walk. But I also have a dog, so it makes more sense for me to do a walk.
Oh, that's cheating.
Yeah. Well,
That's
that's
awesome. Walking the dog. I like if this is you not drinking alcohol, then fuck it. Like just take it there anyway. I did like a year or two without drinking. I just take girls to bar and I just like grab a Coke with a lemon in it or some shit. Yeah, it didn't fucking matter. And if the girl doesn't want to drink, like you can just take her places for like mocktails. Yeah, I still like the idea of just like a bar setup. Obviously, yeah, if you have a dog and stuff, you can go for walks. But otherwise, yeah, just still take it to the bar and just don't drink alcohol.
I either do like I've done boardwalks before, like down by the beach. I'm pretty close to, or TJR Fridays is decent. It's not so much the place. Make sure the place has like nice kind of like, you should scope out some places and make sure they have like nice leather couches that you could sit next to her and stuff like that, ideally. But yeah, and like Marcus said, you don't necessarily need to drink alcohol at like a wine bar or something. You can just get something else.
I think chairs are fine too. You just don't want benches where it's like, like they're like you can't move the sitting thing, so you have to be across from each other. Because if it's a chair, I just move my chair and put it like 90 degrees. Okay. How much of a handicap is being Indian and pickup compared to being white? Yeah, and it's like a common question. Like it's hard to. There's no way for me to quantify this. It also depends on like Indian people don't all look the same. There's some like very good looking light skinned Indian people, and there's some very unattractive Indian guys, and everything in between. I've seen Indian guys who do really, really well, and I've seen Indian guys who fail, but I've seen the same thing with white people. Like this is, I think, a question that's I don't think this is even a good question to ask, because I'm assuming you are Indian, in which case, like, why does it matter what the handicap is? As long as you know that there's some Indian guys who've had success, which I promise you there are, then if the handicap is 1 or 2, why does it matter? It is absolutely doable for Indian guys. But again, not all Indian guys are the same. Some are a lot more attractive than others. If you're an attractive Indian guy, like you're going to do, and you have some basic game, you'll do okay. If you're a really ugly Indian guy, then it's going to be much more of an uphill battle. So yeah, that's my answer. What do you guys think?
If you speak to Deepak Wayne dating, apparently Indians are the superior race, and you actually have an advantage over white guys. Okay, but if you ask me, yeah, it's a little bit of a disadvantage. I agree. It depends like how much of a stereotype you're actually coming across to like white women. If you have a really thick accent, if you speak really fast, like these are things that are just going to put you in the bucket of people that these women experienced before that aren't very attractive. They tend to, and you guys at clubs that get drunk, speak really fast, have a thick Indian accent, they tend to be very needy. So I've got Indian students, like there's Abby that kills it on Tinder, like absolutely fucking kills it, because he's a very good looking Indian.
Oh, right? I think I have the same student too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, exactly. And he's destroying it. So I agree with Alex here. You need to ask yourself, why is there a negative stereotype from white women to Indian men, and try to just like take that out of your game. So if it's speaking really fast with a thick accent that they can't understand, speak a lot slower, maybe get some accent training. If it's that you come across like very needy, then obviously don't be needy, right? Be a little bit more relaxed, stand back a little bit, right? Like if you solve for those things, like 95% of your problems are fixed, right? You might have some women that just like specifically have a type. Like as I was spoken before, like, there's some women that just love black guys and it's really hard to get over. But honestly, like you're only in control of so many things. Like if you're short, you can't instantly grow like 6 feet from trying, right? Like, so at this point, you fix the things that carry the negative stereotype with you. You focus on other attraction triggers that you can display. And then at the end of the day, you're not really going to have a problem.
Yeah, like if I look at like Indian PE, for example, like I think the problem is a lot of Indian guys, they look like fob Indians. The way they dress, their like facial hair or lack of, and their haircuts. Like you guys can find this. We have a video on this. We have articles on this. But if you see his before and after photos, they're crazy. Like he used to look like a total fresh off the boat Indian. Like,
Yeah.
and then now he doesn't at all. Like, you know, he put on a little muscle. He got rid of his glasses. He shaved his head. You know, he grew out facial hair. So yeah, just don't look like he got better clothes, that's for sure. So don't look like a stereotypical fob Indian. You know what? Here, I'll even pull up the photos. I'll let you guys. Why don't you guys answer this question while I pull up the photos if I can find them.
For newbies in game, what should they focus on? Trying to get more pulls experience or getting better at game, internal improvement? What do you reckon, Scotty?
I think honestly they go hand in hand, really. Like, it shouldn't be one or the other. Honestly, it should just, you know, one should ultimately come with the other. Like, if you do work on your internal improvement or whatever, like, there should be a little bit, you should start to see more results with getting pulls, getting dates, having more sex. Like, they go hand in hand. It's hard to kind of separate the two, in my opinion. That's what I think.
I agree with that. Like, there's like this long-term large goal, which is like, I want to get more pulls and experience, but then you focus on the things you can control right now in your sets, which might be like opening a little bit louder or like adding anticipation into your opener, things like this. So yeah, I agree. These are like the same thing. It's just one you're focusing on that night and the other you're focusing on long term.
Okay, I found the photos. This is juicy. Let me just make sure there's no nudes in here. All right, so this was Indian PE, like very much like a stereotypical Indian, right? Still looking pretty stereotypical Indian. Okay, now he's looking a lot better. Right, shaved his head, grew out facial hair, got better fashion. Like,
looking very Jamaican.
Yeah, like definitely big difference. I'm afraid to scroll down, but yeah, I think this is enough to really see the difference, like between this and like, look at this difference, like this, and this, right?
It's insane.
Yeah, dude. He looks, that's crazy because he looks so much older in that first pic too.
Yeah, I know, right? I know, that's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude.
Good transformation.
All right, let's do a few more questions, maybe. Where's a good place to find a wingman? Communities, my community, Scotty's, Marcus's community. I would say that's a good starting point.
There's also I don't know how good these are, but the Ice White, like Game Global communities. I think he's got a bunch around.
Oh yeah, the Game Global, yeah.
Yeah, Game Global.
Yeah, you can go to my forums.playing5.com. A lot of people there in my free Facebook group and my mastermind group, especially. Like, yeah, a lot of resources at your disposal. Is Atlanta an okay enough city to get results for both in person and online? From what I've heard, yes, but I've never lived there. Scotty, I think you have more experience with Atlanta.
Not that much, but I have a very good hit rate every time I go there. I've literally, my last 2 girlfriends have come from Atlanta, so like I'm actually really anxious to get a place there too. I just want to, like, it's not going to be great for boot camps and probably work, but from a personal standpoint, it's probably one of the better cities I can personally go to. But yeah, I like it a lot. But I don't know. I would always put New York number 1. I don't know, I like Atlanta. I think you can. I don't know about, like, if you like black chicks, it's probably really, really good for you. But I don't know what type of girls you like or what you're really looking for. As far as foot traffic, I still have to do some research. I'm not sure.
I remember Indian P actually telling me, because he lived in Atlanta for a period of time. He said that it was definitely better than Miami. So and he loves Miami. So yeah, I think it's good from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's a growing city. I think it's a really dope spot. The people are really, really friendly. I don't know. Just I always do well there.
How would you handle a distance issue? The major town is 45 minutes away. I found some women are not down for the drive. Some girls are just not going to be down for a drive. I mean, the way you can mitigate that is by building extra investment I'm assuming you saw my dating apps over text. Like, if the girl's invested, she's going to be more likely to drive. But there's no, like, denying the fact that if you live in the middle of nowhere, that's going to work against you. You need to, either accept the fact that some girls will flake, or put in more work over text and really just build more investment. Maybe do a phone call before you ask her out, or FaceTime, like really just build that investment, or move. Really, those are your 3 options.
Yeah, I feel like this thought is always going to be, like, as long as this thought is here too, it's like a lot of, like, limiting beliefs, I guess. It's going to be harder, but as long as that keeps popping up, like, yo, it's all, going to be really difficult. How am I going to do it? that's like going into your brain before you even go out and stuff like that. But yeah, at times I would have to go from the city to Long Island like 30, 40 minutes. I just made it so nonchalant. Like I would just, a lot of it is just your limiting beliefs. It's going to be harder, no doubt. I'm not saying it's not going to be harder, but I mean, you could do it. You could definitely do it, man.
How do you respond to or handle objections from girls about age when they realize you're older than what they're used to? It depends on how the concern or objection is framed. Is she just teasing, or is she like, is it a legitimate thing? I don't think I've ever had this, honestly. I'm 35, and I've hooked up with like girls in their like early 20s, even 18, 19-year-olds. I don't know if I've ever had a girl say like, I think you're too old or whatever. Maybe it'll start happening in a few years. But how would I overcome that? Again, just depends on how she says it, but I would probably treat it like like somewhat of a shit test. I'd be like, yeah, you prefer those young, inexperienced little boys. I would kind of reframe it like that. What do you guys think?
I feel like if it keeps getting brought up, it's something else. It's another issue. I'm just being serious. I've had this
It could be that an
yeah.
issue if the girls, but only if the girl's looking for a relationship. If it's just casual sex, then you're right. It's going to be something else.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean,
I think
my better client. Go ahead, Marcus.
Oh yeah, go for it. Oh yeah, no, I agree. I think like sometimes girls use this as a way out if they're not attracted. So like, I wouldn't bring up age at all until like you have attraction, because if you're like 30 seconds in and this girl's like not really into you, and then you're like, how old are you? And then you tell her you're like 35 and she's like 20 or something, she's clearly just going to be like, oh, you're too old. Bye. So I would wait till later. I agree with Alex. It's super rare once the girl's attracted to then find out your age, and the actual age be a huge problem. I've had that once in my life. Now I've had it with students that are like in their 50s and 60s, a little bit more.
Yeah.
So you could try just obfuscate, and the girl's like, how old are you? You're like, guess. She's like, I don't know, like 32. You're like, it's a really good guess, and then just move on, right? Like, but yeah, the big thing here is don't bring up age until you have attraction, because it's just going to be the scapegoat the girl uses.
Yeah,
dude, honestly, my biggest success story is a 47-year-old guy down here in Florida. I've been working with him.
Yeah, your biggest success story is a 47-year-old guy. Yeah.
Yo, he's literally pulls sub 25 girls all the time. Like, it's no like Instagram. This guy is a complete beast, dude. It's unbelievable.
So it's like a beast.
It sounded like that was your best pull, Scotty.
Yeah. That's what I was getting at.
But I wasn't even thinking that way. Yo, Alex, your mind has like a lot of pathways to homosexuality. That's crazy.
Yeah,
I literally, that went over my head. I'm like, oh shit.
Fortunately, I have a girlfriend and
good excuse.
A big history of hooking up with girls. So I'm gonna say, so I can make more gay jokes than the average guy. But yeah, I actually don't think I ever asked girls about their age before sex, or I don't see the point of asking that question, honestly. I never ask girls about age. Now that I think about it, like, I mean, like if I fuck her and whatever, then I might be curious, but I don't recall ever asking that question before sex, honestly.
Yeah, it's generally not a big issue.
Because if a woman is older, then it can also make her feel self-conscious. So yeah, we're in Miami, Florida. In general, some really good spots where you're finding single women in mid to late 30s. I hear Tampa's really good, but in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, I think, is underrated. But in Miami proper, I don't know, Edgewater is pretty good. Design District is pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Scotty?
I think I guess Lauderdale's pretty good. Where do you Edgewater is pretty good. I mean, it's just mixed all over. I live in Hollywood, so it's a mixture of like mid-30s, like 30-year-old women. You'll find them. I mean, there's a lot of people in this city, so yeah, I mean, there's mid-30-year-old women everywhere, honestly. Like,
what are the best US cities that have high volume for night game 4+ nights a week?
New York.
New York, yeah.
I think Boston will, and they have a good ratio. LA definitely does, but I don't recommend it.
Vegas.
I think Phoenix will. Yeah, Vegas. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Vegas, but yeah, they will be. I think Phoenix will. Chicago will. Miami definitely does. I think Tampa probably will. A lot of cities, I think. All right, let's do one more question. What's a solid tell that a girl's highly attracted to you and you should go for the pull? Well, a girl doesn't need to be highly attractive for you to go to the pull. She just needs to be into you. Doesn't need to be highly into you. But I mean, I've done many videos on this. Like if she's finding little reasons to touch you, if she's maintaining like that laser focused eye contact, she's like eye fucking you. If she is standing close to you, I mean, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I've covered this many times.
Yeah, I think if you go for the pull and she says yes, it sounds like this guy's like waiting for the perfect fucking moment, right? Like, yeah, you can test. Like, I usually teach students to go a little bit sexual first, build that up. If she's compliant to that, she's usually down to the pull. You can just see, like, if you're not sure and you're indecisive here and you've just been set for a while, just say like, hey, after this, we'll go to my place, we'll grab some drinks, see what she says. She says no, find out the reason, right? But you don't need to wait until like this girl's like sucking your dick and then be asking yourself, is she ready to be pulled? Yeah.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that too. Like, good eye contact from the girl, but that's not. I mean, yeah, you just have to be always. Don't even view it from that just like always be advancing the position forward. Like as long as she keeps complying with every little action and movement towards the bedroom, like you're in good shape, pretty much. You know.
Even if you're not sure that she's into you, you should still try to pull.
That's what I mean. Yeah, just keep going.
Because sometimes some girls don't really show it outwardly. I've had some girls that were like, if you were to watch the footage, you'd say like, yeah, I guess she thinks you're cool, but you wouldn't say like this girl like really likes you, but want to pulling them and having sex with them, right? So not every girl has like explicit tells, and also the biggest thing is like a beginner intermediate might not have the wherewithal and the social awareness to realize. So we might look at that interaction and be like, yeah, this girl wants to fuck, but you might look at that same interaction through your own biases and be like, I don't think she's into me. I've seen that happen, like tagging along with Scotty on boot camps. I've seen guys kind of undervalue their how the interaction went. Like, why didn't you go for the number? Oh, I didn't think she was into me. It's like, dude, I watched the whole thing. She was into you, but people don't.
That's the problem right there. I think guys are too heavily focused on the girls thing instead of just doing the, escalation techniques and just doing everything you're supposed to do. Just focus on yourself, and if she keeps complying, you're in good shape.
Yeah, you guys want to do a few more? There's a bunch came in.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah,
we'll do like maybe 5 more minutes. What to do if a girl says, I just want to be friends after the first date? On the first date, I pulled her to my place, made accent, so they didn't have sex. No point of it. Yeah, it's literally this is because you did not close. So there's no chance you would fuck a girl on the first date and then she texts you, let's just be friends. Or that's extremely uncommon. Yeah, like that's why I always recommend like doing your best to close. I would argue that in this situation, the girl probably was down to have sex, but you just weren't able to make it happen. I could be wrong, but most likely I am correct. So whether it was dealing with her objections, being a little bit more persistent, building a little bit more sexual tension, building a little bit more comfort, it could be many things. Probably not comfort, probably more like build a lack of sexual tension. So that's the issues that you
could also be like that sounds crazy. Like that could be a hygiene issue too, or just something that she just didn't that really, really turned her off, in that situation. While you're making out with her, maybe you were like an awful kisser or something, bad breath. I don't know, something like that. If you've gotten that far and she's like, no, we should just be friends, and just, at that point she's not into it. It could be something like that as well.
That could be it, yeah. I mean, note that like 95% of the time when a girl says, let's just be friends, that's her polite way of rejecting you. So she's not actually trying to be friends the vast majority of the time.
Yeah, true. Yeah, she's not. Yeah, that's such a good point. She's not like messaging you next week being like, so should we hang out somewhere? Yeah, like this girl, you did something that turned her off. Or something where you lost value. I get feedback, right? I would just message her and be like, yep, hit me, like tell me the truth, like I can take it. What's something I can improve on, blah, blah. Hopefully she doesn't give you some bullshit like we just didn't connect or there was no chemistry there. Like try to get something out of her, because it could be the fact that she's like, I think we want different things. It could be the fact that maybe she says like, okay, your breath fucking stunk or you're a bad kisser or some shit. It could be a range of things. So I think like getting that feedback is like crucial. As I said, half the time you're going to get some bullshit answer that might not be helpful, but at least like try, and it can be at least something you learn from.
I think a big part of the time when guys get texts like that is they weren't ballsy enough. Like they weren't like, yeah, they didn't have that like kind of killer instinct. Like they were maybe pussyfooting it a little bit. I'm not saying all the way, but they were like they didn't have like big balls. I don't know. That's the best way.
Yeah, exactly. If you were a big ball guy that like went for this and you did something else to turn the goal off, she'd probably just ghost. Like the fact that she's saying like, oh, I'm so sorry, little Peter. Listen, look, we can be friends. Like she's trying to let you down softly because she thinks you're a pussy, right? Like, no offense, I've got these messages too when I start. Like, I'm not having a go at you, but like she's thinking that you might get hurt from her letdown, so she's trying to make it really nice, which usually implies you were probably being a bit too nice.
Yeah, because like if I think about it, I definitely girls. I go on dates with girls that I don't close, and then they don't want to hang out with me again. But I don't remember the last time I got like, let's just be friends text. It's usually they either ghost on me or they might say something like, you came off too strong or something like that. Or maybe we want different things. You're just looking for a one night stand, but it's very rarely. And I think it's probably the same for you guys. It's very rarely like, let's be friends. Like I just don't get those texts, even though I still get rejected, obviously.
Yeah, you're right. I don't really get that at all.
Yeah.
Let's be friends. And I do think this is all, it's a ballsy thing. Like that's really a bad sign if that's what they're doing. That means they're like really, you're such a likable, sweet, nice guy, but they just don't want to hurt you. They think you're very fragile and soft. You're giving off a very like soft impression to these women. I don't know. Like I've had that with a Chinese guy one time, and he kept getting that, and he was just too soft, man. Just way too soft.
Any dating app bio tips? Yeah, I mean, I have a million videos on this. Just check out my videos. How do you develop more? That's an interesting question. How do you develop more of a killer instinct to stick in sets, make more of an effort to pull close? What do you guys think?
I think the best way to develop this is just think, how can I learn more? Like, how can I get more out of this? I think if you start trying to think about results or outcomes, your brain does this thing where it lies to you and says, you're much more likely to get a result if you play this safe. Okay. Don't do that new thing that you're trying out or learned, or like you're trying to push it or something. Like, don't go for the pull because she's likely to say no here. Like, just sit in and like be friend, and then you end up getting friend zoned. Instead of thinking about the result, just think like, how can I learn here? Right? If your mind says, if you go for the pull right now, she's going to say no, you're going to get rejected, it's going to suck. Just remind yourself that's a great fucking learning opportunity, right? Because I get a no, now I learn how to deal with this. Or now I get feedback as to why I got the no, right? There's something I need to fix there. So I always try to tell my students, just how much can I learn? I don't care if you get rejected or this isn't going nowhere. What can you learn from this? Keep going forward until there's nothing left to learn, and then bounce. I think that really develops like more of that, what you would call like killer instinct or ability to move it forward.
Yeah, I think you also just have to practice pushing past your comfort zone and stretching it, because a lot of the times the reason that you don't stick in set is because you become uncomfortable or you perceive her as being uncomfortable. So you got to just stretch your comfort zone massively.
I mean, the guy I learned from, Brad P, I took a boot camp with him back in the day, and he always used to say like, blow me or blow me out, which is like, it's always just, don't every single person, when they start off with this, they tend to be playing it very, very safe. So he's like, I want to see a couple blowouts. That shows me that you're pushing it. If you're not getting any blowouts, you're doing something wrong, basically. Like, if you're a beginner, you know what I mean? He wants to see you like stretching past those comfort zones for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's do like two more. How do you get a pull back to a chick's place of logistics into your place don't work? Okay, this depends on whether we're talking cold approach, dating apps, but generally, first of all, I would recommend trying to make the logistics work. I don't like if the girl's like not willing to come to you, you're like, oh, I'll meet you at a bar near your place. Like, I don't recommend doing shit like that. But let's assume that your grandma's staying at your place and you can't pull. In that situation, if it's a dating app thing, I would basically sexualize the conversation over text so that the understanding is that if we get along, we're going back to your place. Like, I will make sure her place is an option, even if she doesn't want me to come straight over. before I even start the date. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would usually wait till I have the compliance first. So like if you're on the date, I'd be like, look, we should grab a drink somewhere else after this. Yes. I'd totally invite you back to my place. But my grandma's visiting. Is your place available? Is what I go for. But I agree with Alex. Like just try to make your logistics work as much as possible. It's so cuck trying to go to the girl's place.
Yeah. All right. Last question. What if we used AI to transcribe thousands of interactions, develop a flow chart for exactly what to say at each point for the husband? This is not possible because each situation is going to be slightly different. Like there's just variance, natural variance, and what sometimes the same situation, like take exactly the same text combo, like everything verbatim the same, but the girls are different, so one thing might have worked better. So there's just too many variables to do this.
Yeah, you would need to wait a few years for AI to get a little bit better and then literally have like 1 million interactions. Like you need so many. And it'd need to be able to like scan the girl's profile and things like that. Like it might be possible in the future. I just don't think we're there yet.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys. Good stream. So yeah, everyone just quickly plug themselves. So Marcus, we're
very homo today. All right, you want us to plug ourselves now? It's fucked up.
Yeah. One of Marcus's used butt plugs now.
Exactly. I'll give you a kit. Yeah, UMP Ultimate Man Project. You can find us on YouTube.
Cool, Scotty.
All right, man. ScottyWingman.com, and you can check me out at ScottyGLL on YouTube.
Cool.
Thanks.
Awesome. All right, thanks, guys. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Cheers, bro. Thanks for having us on, man.
All right, boys. Later, man. Good night, guys.